All right, I'm just going to wait 1 second to make sure I'm actually broadcasting properly, and then I will quickly do this video, just throw it together. All right, let's just hope for the best. I think I'm broadcasting. All right, so here's my screen here. I'm going to be just reading off a couple notes. Basically do a update video on the projects, what's been going on lately, and a little housekeeping, I guess. So the first thing is that it's late April as of the time of this recording. I'm working on the 2 books, or compiling the 2 books from Indiegogo. First, of course, is the Probl-o-Matic collection. So I'll just show that real quick. Everything's coming out on time, but I have made a couple of modifications to the book. Minor, I guess you could say minor, but still worth talking about. I don't want to do anything and surprise anyone or have any negative, feelings or anything like that. So in full transparency, here's what's up. The collection as of now is in the direction of 300 and something pages. I think it's like near 325, 350, something like that. So that the book overall, the whole package, has been all of my black and white strips collected into a single volume. So that meant volume 1, which was the first 200 strips, and volume 2, which was strips 200 to 400, plus another 100 and something strips that would have been volume 3. So that I think that's in the direction of 515-ish, something like that, strips. And as I was compiling the book and looking at it and doing all my proofreading and everything's kind of together. I've put the book together and I'm looking through it, and I'm sort of realizing it creates a problem for anyone who wants to buy this volume and then future volumes. So let's say you buy the Probl-o-Matic collection here, and it contains strips from volumes 1 and 2 plus some of 3, and then you buy volume 3 and it's basically a lot of repeated content. I'm sure not a lot of people would care, but for me, that would kind of bother me to have that on my shelf. And like, repeat content, that's kind of tedious. But I kind of can't think of a way around it at the moment. Here's my solution, sort of, is I'm going to treat this collection as a one-time event. Whoever buys this book, it's basically the full collection up to date. So you'll have all the strips that have been finished, except the ones in color, of course, which I have to figure out a whole other solution for those. But that's later. And I'm going to treat the content from volume 3 as a sort of preview, I guess. So in the future, I might do collections of volumes 1 and 2, or just print volumes 1 and 2 by themselves, because I don't think it's business-wise, in air quotes, it's not the best thing to ask someone to spend $30 to buy volume 1 of a book that they're not even sure they're going to like. So of course, all the content's online. You can make sure if you like the content or not. But in the future, I'm going to just have this as a unique book. I will never sell it again after this. So whoever gets this book, maybe there's a little extra value there. You have a book that's, it'll never be seen again, a cover that'll never be seen again. Yeah, so that's basically it for that. I'm going to treat the new volume 3 content as a preview, because by the time I hope I'm not meandering too much, but when I got to the end of the volume 3 content, it's sort of, volumes 1 and 2 ended so nicely. They had a climax at the end of the story. So every 200 strips, there's a sort of nice little ending. And I was going to write a short story. I have been writing a short story. I wrote that under the nerfs section here, called, the working title is Detective Xavier. And I've been writing it, and we're getting close to the place, not the deadline exactly where I want to send them to the printers, but we're getting close enough where I kind of would have to rush through the story to finish it. And it kind of goes against my principles to publish something that I think it needs time in the oven. So you do your first draft when you're writing a story, and then generally as a writer, you want to let it sit for a while. You want to let your mind refresh itself. Then you do maybe a second draft, and then maybe you send that second draft to a couple of friends who will read it and help you edit it. Of course, if you had an editor, that would be a different story, which I don't. But yeah, I kind of want to let the story sit a little while longer and refine itself. I know exactly what's going to happen in the story, but the individual lines of dialogue, let's say, I want them to be good. So I'm going to hold that story. It was going to be at the end of the Probl-o-Matic collection. So I'm going to hold that story until volume 3 is finished, which, who knows, that's another 85 strips away. And there's more that has to happen in volume 3 that kind of sets up this short story. So I think volume 3 needs to be its own thing. So for anyone who reads the Probl-o-Matic collection or has already read volumes 1 and 2, I don't want this book to be like a barnacle in your collection, like an unwanted barnacle. I want it to be something that you're proud of owning. So that's basically, I'm deciding to cut the short story at the end and treat all the strips after number 400 as a preview for volume 3. And of course, if someone wants to buy volume 3 after this, I'll probably offer a discount or something like that. I absolutely do not want to take advantage of anyone or have anyone feel like they've been taken advantage of. So this is all sort of unplanned as I'm looking at the book and reading it as if I was a reader. I'm not satisfied with how it concludes. It doesn't feel like a finished package. So that's just, I would rather people say no, I want to buy the finished books as individual volumes and wait than buy something that they're dissatisfied with. So that's totally up to you. I totally understand. The book will be excellent. I guarantee it. Anyone who has the book will be pleased with it, but I don't want anyone to feel unhappy with their purchase. So the only other change I'm going to make, I put it under the buffs section, but it's sort of it's not a buff or a nerf. I'm going to change the dust jacket to just a finished glossy cover. And the reason I did this is because I think dust jackets can be kind of annoying for some people. Like if you opened the book and then it's kind of slipping out of your hands all the time, maybe that would be annoying. So I haven't done enough tests with dust jackets to confidently say I want the book to have a dust jacket. So maybe in the future I'll do that. But for now, it's just going to be a nice, shiny, glossy cover. And that's that. So these are the changes I've made to the project now. It's still on track to be shipping in June. I don't see any reason why it would be delayed. But of course, I'll let everybody know. But everything's on track other than that. So next, I'm working on also, at the same time, this book, Bad Dreams and Other Stories, which is a book, if anyone doesn't know, it's a collection of a lot of ink drawings that I've done over the years. And a lot of them have sort of interesting backstories behind them that if you've ever heard of, what's it called, when you write, not ghostwriting. The name slips out of my mind, but when you write and you just let your hand move and you don't think about what you're writing. So I did the same thing with these drawings. I would just kind of sit there mindlessly sketching, but the stories kind of emerged as I was drawing them. And so I thought it was a fun idea. I've always just had them in my collection. I never really did anything with these illustrations, but I decided to collect them into a book and write down some of the stories behind each image. So that's what this book is, Bad Dreams and Other Stories. Currently, it's about 70 pages. I'm offering it in soft cover and hardcover. And it's just a small project just to keep us going until the next big one gets announced, let's say. So that'll be after June, after these two books are finished, if we get to that point. But yeah, there's 11 days left on this Indiegogo, which I'll put in the description, of course. I'll put the link there. Take a look. Maybe it's, something that you want. I don't know. It's a nice little book. So not much to say there, except for the buffs. I'm going to be adding at the back of the book, because I don't want to offer a book that's too skinny. But also I don't want to add padding. So this isn't padding, but I'm adding a sample of a story that I've been writing for a couple of years. It's an illustrated short, not short story. It's going to be like, it was initially supposed to be a video game script, but the game got canceled, and I had this massive script just sitting around. So I'm turning it into a sort of fantasy, not a novel exactly. It's like a screenplay, and it has a ton of illustrations. So the working title is The Piggyback Acorn, and I think thematically it fits with Bad Dreams. So I think it would be fun to add a preview at the back of this book, and it should be a substantial amount of pages. And if you're into fantasy stories, RPGs, I think it would be a lot of fun to read. So I'm adding that to the book to make it a little more substantial. Of course, this does not affect the price. It's just an added preview. And someday, hopefully, I'll finish The Piggyback Acorn. But it should be a fun read. So, okay. And you got this little character saying, wow, who cares? 11 days left. It's self-deprecating humor. So now a little spicy news that has nothing to do with anything. You could stop the video here and it wouldn't affect your life. But yesterday, I was browsing through my channel a little bit, cleaning up, and I noticed that one of my videos was missing, and it was my Reddit drama video, the one where I explained what happened to me on Reddit back in December. And because it was so contentious and it felt like the whole world was like pissed off at me, I was like, shoot. It got taken down. It was missing from my channel, and I thought somebody went after it. You know, someone copyright striked it or something. And I didn't have time to investigate, and so I made all this noise about. And I posted this picture, being like, "Haha! Well, you jerks! You better look at my face and remember it in your dreams, because I'm a boogeyman. I'm gonna come for you." Yeah. So it turns out I had a short clip from Monty Python where they go the Spanish Inquisition, because I was talking about the Spanish Inquisition silencing me, and that got copyright struck automatically, I guess. So that's the first time that's ever happened on this channel. Everybody's got to go through it, I suppose. So it turns out, I guess nobody came after me. It was an automated thing. So I feel a little bit like Jussie Smollett here with his Subway sandwich, except it turns out, no, I did not accidentally false flag myself. It was just an accident. Thank God. So here's a little, laugh at myself. Stupid. Turns out I'm not a victim this time. Thank God. I'm embarrassed. And then, of course, yesterday I had to post this little stupid image of me being like, haha, I'm still #1 on R Comics. You guys can't get me. Which is stupid, because it's like, I am the kind of creator that they want on our comics, but I don't know. I guess things have cooled down enough that I can start posting there again, but it's like, they were really mean to me. It hurt my feelings. I don't know what to do. So maybe I'll start posting there again. I don't know. But anyway, hey, we're still #1 on our comics, and that's pretty cool. It's been like 6 months. I'm pretty proud of that still. Even if it turned out the way it did, I'm still proud of, I don't know. I don't get to be #1 at many things, so that's pretty cool. Let me see here. Here's an animation of me waving at you, saying bye, thanks for listening. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. Look at my notes here. I guess just channel notes real quick. I've been doing a lot of interviews, or not a lot, but a bunch of interviews on this channel with creators, and I would love to do more of those. So if you guys hear of any creators that you'd like to hear me talk to, please put me in touch with them. Anyone who's promoting a book, or any creator who just wants to talk about art and comics, and even someone who disagrees with me and wants to, have a little, argument or something, a friendly argument. I want to get creators, and I want to promote creators and fellow creators. Let's just talk and be human and get to know each other out here on the internet. I want indie comics to thrive better and thrive more. So I've been posting those creators. Of course, we've got the interview with Shenaniganson, and yesterday I interviewed Alejandro Mirabal. And I want to do more, so I hope you guys like and sub and all that stuff. Tell people about the channel. I don't know. That's it for today, I guess. Just a little housekeeping. After I post this video, I'm going to go back to working on the books and hopefully send those off to the printers by the end of this month. And everybody can get their books soon. And I hope y'all like them. I really want to encourage people when they get their books to review them. If you have a channel, please review it on yours, or ask your favorite YouTube reviewer to review it. But we'll get there. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I'm sorry for talking so long. See you next time. And I should have an outro. Geeks and gamers. Goodbye, fellow gamers, geeks, comics.